All right, so let's see what's going on. Looks like we got a whole bunch of red so far. Now, I wish I can compare to the S&P 500, but it doesn't let me do that anymore, which is a little bit sad. I really like seeing my portfolio in relation to the S&P 500, but I don't think that's a thing anymore. Let's see what my year to date is. Uh-oh, we're down 1.5% year to date. I'm just joking. It's not that bad. Well, actually, I'm doing kind of bad. This year is off to an under. No, it's actually not that bad. QQQ is down a lot. All right, well, let's see what I can buy, sell, hedge, change. Okay, so Apple is down a lot. AAPL, it is down a lot. It looks like I am down quite a bit on the sell puts. It's down to 181. Yeah, that's the market for you. Big upswings higher and then big upswings lower. So what I can do is I can probably roll a couple of these things down. So since Apple went down a lot, I'm going to show you how I basically adjust everything. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to have to probably pay a debit to roll this 187 lower, as my exposure is pretty big. So I will go ahead, lock in a loss and roll down. I want to decrease exposure. The exposure is a little high. So I'm going to go for February 16. All right, I will go down to, oh no, I don't want to do February 16 because I want to do 182 and a half. No, 182 and a half. Let me try March 15. Still none. Try February 9. Wow, there's no 182 and a half. All right, so let me go to March 15. Oh, I really want the 182 and a half, to be honest. You know what I can do? I can roll two. So here's what I can do. I can roll to 185. I don't want to do 50 contracts. I will do 25 contracts, okay? Run 25 of these. And this is going to be a credit that I will collect. So I will go for a 1.32 credit, 1.3 credit. Okay, beautiful. All right. And now, so I have done the 185. Now I can also do 180. All right, so now I can do 180 and I can go for a debit of 1.02. So I'll have to pay 1.02, which is good. I don't think it's going to fill. Let me go for 1.05. There we go. So that was a beautiful example. I'm going to just take a snipping tool here. I think this is a very good example. You guys just saw me problem solve how to get 182 without seeing a 182. So because of 185, 180, half and half means 182 and a half. If it was 100, 200, it'd be 150. If it was 1,000 and 2,000, it'd be 1,500. Get it? It's the middle point. It's the average. So if it was 1,000 and 10,000, it would be 5,500. Understand? It's the middle point. That's how you get the middle point. If a strike doesn't exist, you can make it exist, essentially. Okay, I won't fire her. Thanks. I'm glad it was helpful. Thoughts on Apple after second downgrade today? Okay, yeah. That's what we're gonna do. Why roll Apple put now, even though in the money, since still 2 weeks remaining till expiration? Not really. I mean, just because I'm getting okay. Not a math. Trading is not a math. It's an emotional thing, and because I have such a big position, I'm starting to worry a little bit. So I want to decrease my exposure. I want to decrease my exposure because I am a little bit concerned, actually. I am a little bit concerned myself. Okay, that's why. So I'm going to roll this position lower as well. So I'm going to roll actually for the same day for March 15. So I'm going to roll down to, actually roll down to 185. That'd be such a huge credit. Wow. That would be a massive credit. Again, I want 187 and a half, which I cannot get unless I have to do those two transactions again, which I'm incredibly lazy to do. But I guess I will have to. I'll have to kind of do that. If I do this though, I think that's actually also good. So yeah, I can go down to 190. So I'll just do that. Ideally, I would like to go to 188, 187. Intuitively, that's what I feel. So I will collect 1.5. So I'm rolling my covered call lower, collect more income, and follow Apple stock lower. Not to chase lower, follow lower. Very important. It's so funny how much I have learned now as I'm Gonna turn 30 this year. About trading being exactly the same as health and love, which are the three areas of life, right? Money, relationships, and health. Money, relationships, health, all three are like the same exact thing. So if one of you guys is good at the other areas of life, you should be good with money because it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. All right, so that is a how you adjust the position with the market coming down. So Apple's down quite a bit, and I just adjusted the position going down with it. And that's actually probably the underperformance I've had, which is Apple. But what I did there was actually probably net collected a credit. So yeah, I net collected a pretty decent credit. I don't know exactly how much, but we can do the math. All right, so I collected 32.50 and then I spent 26.50. So the difference there is going to be $625. So I made $625 and then I made that. So I made $5,840. $5,840. Okay. All right. Why did I do that? I saw that was at a huge loss. I was just wanted to adjust it. All right. That is good. Everything else is pretty flat, it's pretty steady. JetBlue's up. That's great. All right, let me answer some questions. The closer you get to expiration, the higher your chances of assignment are, especially when it's that deep in the money. That is true. It's not super deep, but it is somewhat deep, yeah. How to manage a PCS on Apple. You can roll lower right now since it's down quite a lot, so you can roll it lower by $5. So if you have 190, 185, you go 185. Apple PCS 185, 180 for expiration is in the money. Please adjust with it too. I would right now probably close the 185, 180 and sell 180, 175. So you're just going to go down by $5. Since I just adjusted my position, you can also adjust your put credit spread. So go down by 5. So go down by $5. Is it better to wait till expiration date if trade is going against you or cheaper to go earlier? In this case with Apple, we're going to go a little bit earlier because of the downgrades. There's no right answer. I usually wait till expiration, but with this specific case, I decided to roll lower. So we have made an adjustment. It's not always the case. It does depend case by case basis. And this time on Apple, I wanted to go lower. Is it a good time to buy Apple if we don't have any exposure? I would say yes. Yes, I think Apple is good right now at 181. Yeah. Do downgrades mean anything, or do these analysts just go with the trend? When an analyst downgrades, this is the equivalent of you working an office job, and then your cousin tells you that they're making $50,000 a month driving trucks, and then your other cousin tells you they're making a lot of money with truck driving, and then your brother's sister's fiance says the same. And you're like, wait, three people are telling me to drive trucks, and there's so much money. Why am I working in an office for $15 an hour? People are driving trucks, but I don't want to drive a truck. How do I get a job in trucking? See what I'm saying? It's a rumor. Rumors. Are rumors effective? They can be. They can be. When people start talking about stuff, it can be the case, right? So you want to get married to a woman, and then everyone tells you, oh, she's bad, she's evil, blah, blah, blah. It starts to twist your mind a little bit. Or, like I said, money example, dating example. So the market is kind of like that. Does it matter? I don't know how to put a number to it. It matters to an extent. The more popular the analyst is, the more of an impact that they have because people are listening to that analyst because that person is an influential figure. It doesn't mean that the person is right. It means that they're in an influential figure. Just like your father or mother raised you and said, you have to be a doctor. Is your father or mother right? Well, they mean the best for you, but it doesn't mean that you should be a doctor, right? But they're influential on you. So it does have an impact on the market. To what degree depends on the analyst. See how there's no right answers in trading? How should I roll 185, 180 PCS Apple? Oh, you would change the 185 to 180, and you would change the 180 to 175, and you would change the expiration from 119 to February. For a profit, I'm not sure if it's going to be a profit or not. It's not an on-off switch like that. It's whatever the price is. So I don't know if it's going to be a profit or loss, or it's probably going to be about a break even. You might have to go wider to get a profit. That is true. You might have to go wider, or you might have to go out to a certain time period. Seems like Robinhood won't let me roll spreads. Yeah, that is why you have to close it and manually open a new one. That is true. Same question. How can I roll my Apple PCS? You manually close it and then you manually open a new one. Robinhood does not let you do that. So you would manually close the position. So you would go say, so okay, here let's go to NVIDIA. The only thing that you can really do is, yeah, close a position like this, close it, and then you just open up a brand new position. So it's a little bit more work, but yes, that is what it is. So that is kind of it. Neo's a good play to do sell puts on. I want to hand it over to some of you guys. I was exercised on 5 Palantir sell puts at 17.5 last Friday. How should I go about the wheel strategy? Sell covered call near in the money for Palantir. I believe it's well below 17.5 right now. You may want to sell. Look at that. I actually don't currently have any covered calls myself. So we can just run the wheel strategy together. I have sold puts to get in. And now I can just sell some calls. I can go out for January 19. Traditional expiration is what I always do. Third Friday of the month. You can just go for 17. Even if it's a little bit below, it's fine. You can always roll higher. So here we go, 5 contracts. 0.37. Alrighty. I sold 19 Jan 182.5, but I have no position. Would you roll to March 180? Leave it alone. It depends. How much cash do you have? If you have enough cash to take the shares, I would just take the shares. Any PCS or CCS I could do. Yeah. I would do Tesla, and I would do NVIDIA and Netflix. So this one has done very, very well, guys. This was a small account trade or smaller account trade because it's a spread. It has done very well. Has done very well. I would just do this again for February. All right, guys. Very clear. You know what expiration date. There you go. That's what I mean. Sometimes I don't make a lot of trades, but you can just do my trade, the same trade for the next month, the next month, the next month. Just do it anytime. When you sell put on margin, you aren't charged interest. I know that. What if you get assigned the shares? Are you then charged interest? Yes, you are. You get assigned, you are charged interest. Until you get assigned no interest. In a recent post, you mentioned that you do not follow the news, and it sounds like you're emotionally detached. That is true. That is so true. I am very emotionally detached from money and trading. Were you always like that? No, I was not always like that. And I totally understand where you guys are, and that's why I'm here as your coach. I understand where a lot of you guys are. Money is a big stress point for a lot of people. The majority of people work their whole lives for money, and it sucks. It does rule most people's lives. I was not always like that. I had an extreme money problem, and because of that stress and that extreme uncomfort, and I had a belief, I had a limiting belief. I truly believed that until I was rich, I could not have a girlfriend. I was truly convinced of this idea. Obviously, not true. And obviously, now having too much money hurts my dating prospects because now I have to be quiet about money and not talk about it and not lead with it. So, no, it was not always the case. It only became the case after multiple different factors. One of them being it truly does not help you to be emotional with trading. That's the first thing. Whether you have abundance or not, it truly doesn't help you to be emotional. It doesn't help you. That's the first thing. Second thing is if you chase the money will not chase you. Same goes with women. You chase the women, they will not chase you. That has been my experience. It is completely true. So it can be difficult to detach emotionally, especially if you are. Here's another tip. A lot of you guys want to retire in option trading, which I basically have, and I did it early. I was a little bit younger, so it was a little bit easier for me to be in the position of if this doesn't work out, I will go get a job. Many of you guys are not in that situation. So you depend on option trading a bit more, which is fine. That is not bad, but you need to have a margin of safety. For example, can you retire with $1 million? Yes, you can. If you own your house and you make even 1.5% per month, that's $15,000, you're good. How could you emotionally detach a little bit more? The way you would emotionally detach more is you would work a little bit more, an extra year, and you would get to $1,150,000. Then your income obviously increases. Your life expectancy has gone down by 1 year. Unfortunately, we don't want to think about it that way. But do you see, I'm looking at it from a risk perspective. So one of the ways to detach emotionally is to actually just have a higher investment account. Easier said than done, but what you want to do is just give it more time. Time is the biggest factor. I have really shortcut time a lot by taking on more risk, but I do not recommend more risk for a majority of you guys because you can't lose the money. Most of you guys are older than me. I think the average age is probably 45, 50 in this group. So we are much older. We can't be risking our life savings. And we really need this money to depend on. So we cannot take the same level of risk. So I did do something a little bit different to get to this point. But once I had a million, I scaled to 1.5 million without doing those crazy risky things, which was Tesla crazy stuff. So it may take a little bit longer. And it just depends on your individual scenario. If you already have $1 million, you can kind of lean back, relax. If you're at 50K, yes, you have quite a bit of a journey. You have a journey of working and saving, investing, and being patient. And yes, emotionally detaching from the short-term outcome. It will be fine if you do exactly as I'm doing, practice safe risk management. Emotionally detaching can be very difficult. The emotional part of life is the most difficult part. It is hard. It is hard because we are so dependent on money. I was dependent very heavily on relationship and of course our health. We only have one body. If you get in an accident, like your life is kind of in a big problem. So it can be hard. And that's why I'm here. I'm here on our community is here. So long speech there, but it's because I understand where your pain is. I can totally understand it because I have the same pain in my relationship life. I can't emotionally detach. But I believe money is a lot easier than relationships because with money, it's like you have multiple streams of income. It's much easier to manage your wealth. You have a job, you have savings, you have investing, you have multiple things that are making your financial life. Whereas with a relationship, you're relying on one person. You give it, whatever. You get what I'm saying. I find myself fearful about some news and the looming stock crash. This news is meant to get your attention, just like social media makes money off of you. Whenever you guys watch YouTube videos, although it's free, it's not truly free. The economy right now just wants your attention. You spending time on anything is worth lots of money. So whenever you see a stock crash or YouTube video, remind yourself, this is social media making money off of me. I need to take this with a grain of salt. No matter what I listen to online, it can be very deceiving. And I have followed different coaches myself in other areas of my life for years when I totally realized that this coach is just doing it for themselves. And it's very hard to tell. And we build lots of trust online. And I'm just saying, when you see stock crash, relax, remind yourself social media is making money off of me. Who am I? What are my goals? Is there really a stock crash? Can I really predict it? No, I cannot. Sit back and I'm going to do the safe, consistent strategies that Henry taught me or that I know work. I'm going to listen to myself. I'm going to listen to my own intuition. I'm going to have high quality companies, and I'm not going to worry about stock crash or any news. Okay. I'm telling you all honest to God truth here. I'm literally telling you the truth. That's how you do it. Can you walk me through why you selected 17 as your Palantir strike? No reason other than 17 is the nearest strike price. I don't believe Palantir is going to go up a lot. And 17 had a really good premium. I could have went for 17 and a half. I could have went for 18. The choice is basically like, do I want cherries? Do I want strawberries today? It is based on feelings. There is no correct answer. Obviously, going higher in strike gives you more upside and it gives you less premium. That's the simple trade-off. It's just a trade-off. I'm just choosing between a trade-off, but neither trade-off is better. Do I want to be a doctor or a lawyer? They can make about the same money. Do you want to be in a courtroom all day, or do you want to be cutting people up, or dermatology, or psychiatry, or general practitioner, gynecology, whatever? It is your choice. The trade offs are not better than the other, they're just different. That's why. I am in a DG selling CCP, cash CCP. Is that the Chinese guys? You work for China? CCP. All right. I don't know about the CCP. For 137, I don't know what a CCP is. It
I'm
has
sorry.
chances.
I meant cash secured put. I
Got you.
typed cash covered put. Sorry.
Got you. Okay. I just like to poke fun because I hate those acronyms. I am in DG selling cash secured put for 137 expiring tomorrow. It has chances of assignment. I have chase investment and not allowing me to roll. Can you please help me understand roll is nothing but closing and opening a new position. Yeah. Rolling. Yeah, exactly. You don't have to roll. You can close the 137 and open up a 135. Exactly.
And Henry, thank you. Do you advise it to be done tomorrow or today, or is it's totally up to what would you do?
Um, Let me take a look at it. The answer is honestly, it doesn't really matter. One day is not going to do anything, but I'll just tell you which way I lean towards. We don't see a crazy shift down. We don't see a crazy shift up. We just see a little bit of a bounce here. I would say you're good to wait till tomorrow. There's no crazy emotional roller coaster. This is just okay. So maybe
Awesome.
tomorrow you can roll it.
Awesome. Thank you. I
Sure.
followed all the steps except for the size, and this was my first trade, and it's sort of going south. So
No, not by much. 137, you probably collected some premium. It's at 135. When you said you know the expiration date in February Netflix, you mean February 16? I'm new. Yes, February 16, exactly. Yes. Yes. See, you're new and you already know. Do you suggest dipping into buying options or solely focus on selling options for premium? Solely selling options is way better. Can you talk a little bit more about those risky steps you did in order to get to 1 million? Yeah, so it was like Tesla, poor man's cover call, Tesla bull call spread, Tesla put credit spread. Lots of Tesla, lots of Tesla. It was over leveraging into Tesla. It was using margin on Tesla. I was very confident, just like I am on Apple right now. But it was Tesla, so that's what I did. And obviously Tesla ran up, and yeah, I recently lost a lot of money from selling Q puts because the market went down. What would you recommend I do? I don't think you really have to worry about triple Q. It's a great long-term play. You just emotionally detach in the short term from being down on paper, or you maybe realize the loss, but it will recover. So just stay invested in the market. Sometimes we get big crashes in the market or big pullbacks. And by the way, it's not big. It just seems big to you because it's emotionally hurting you because you probably made a new position and then suddenly it went down and now you're feeling emotional pain. But if you zoom out, it's not really that bad. It's only down like a couple percentage points. So meta put sell expiration, Gen 26 expiration. That's fine. I like meta sell put. Meta sell put was I was just talking to someone else about this yesterday. So yeah, meta sell put is fine. Shall I roll down my Apple PCS to 180, 175? I have nine. Yes, that's exactly what I said actually. So yes, exactly what you mentioned. For calls for call spreads, would you go for Netflix, Nvidia, Tesla, what others? Just those three for now. Stick to those three. Don't overdo them. Those three are good. When would you do a debit spread versus a credit spread? I always do credit spreads because credit spreads are superior in collect income versus debit spreads are betting instruments similar to a casino. They can work, but they're hard to predict. Tesla bit me quite a bit as moves very fast and juicier spreads get killed fast. So far, only strategy that is working well is selling puts, covered calls, or way out of the money spreads. Recommendations on PCS for JetBlue. I don't do PCSs on very cheap stocks. What do you do when pin risk is high when doing a spread? Basically, close the spread early. That's basically the best thing to do. Okay, that was all the questions. Did anyone want to speak?
On Tuesday, you mentioned to do that I can share my Robinhood because you're
Hmm.
going to into the margin. I had a 100K account and they approved me for another 100K for margin, but I wasn't 100% sure, and I can share that today if you
Sure.
don't. Okay,
Yeah, sure.
let me
Never loan money to friends and family. That is true. That is true. Consider it a gift if you loan someone money. It is a gift, not a loan. You may not get paid back. So I did recently. A friend of mine said, "Please, I can't feed my family. Can you loan me $2,000, $3,000?" Said no. My father told me not to ever do that, but I'll give you $250 for groceries. It is a gift. Enjoy it. Merry Christmas. Just send him 250. I do not. I said I do not want it back because once I have that expectation, it becomes unhealthy. I want my money back, and it's like, ugh, ruins the relationship. So here's 250. Thank you. And Kevin O'Leary said that too. So you don't have really any positions right now. You just have a blank
No,
portfolio.
I'm gaining. I'm just gaining some interest off of. I put a bunch of cash. I'm gaining interest. I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm just being careful with it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't have any positions except for like, yeah.
I can
Just
see. Yes.
taking it slow until I fully understand this stuff. Um, but yeah,
Okay.
even like I said, when I go to a position to purchase it, um, I'm only seeing my cash. I'm not actually seeing the margin and
I know.
yeah, yeah.
I know. You
All
have
right.
cash. Cash works first. Margin works second. Don't look at your buying power. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters right now is you have 100K cash. You can tell that by going to the top right, hit account.
Yeah.
Now you will see that your cash balance, brokerage cash is 100,000. That's what we care about. So if I were you, I'd start off by selling like a put option on Apple. Maybe you
Mhm.
can buy some high quality companies. There's a lot of them. I have a full list in Discord. So go to stock list and feel free to ask me. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So I guess once I get to the point that I have all my cash used is when I would start using margin. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but you want to use margin a specific way. If you're new,
Yeah. Always.
please don't use
Mhm.
margin. You just signed up for the driving course. We're learning how to drive, and you're telling me you have a Ferrari and you're gonna drift. No drifting yet. Three
Yeah.
months from today, ask me about margin. Till 3 months happens, don't use margin.
Yeah. Yeah. No worries.
What do you think about QQQM? Is that like an inverse ETF? I don't like inverse ETFs. I don't like leveraged ETFs. So if it's one of those two, I don't like it, which I bet it is one of those two. TD Ameritrade margin is your stock buying power. No, it can be very confusing, which is why I typically manually just know how much I have invested. Here's what I usually do. Let's say I have $1 million. I will do $1 million of covered calls, and the rest I'll start doing sell puts because brokerage accounts can be very confusing. The buying power can be very confusing. Upstart is good for selling puts, but it can be quite risky. So don't use more than 5% of your money on Upstart. If it has a lower expense ratio and it's the same thing, that's fine. QQ at a fraction of the fund cost. If that works, then that's fine. That works.